The string lights shimmered above the dance floor, laughter spilling from every corner of the country estate like champagne bubbles. It was my sister's wedding, or, as my mother put it, the family's proudest day. Before we begin, drop a comment and tell us where are you from and from which city you're watching our videos. And after watching the whole video, don't forget to tell us what would you do in this situation? Be honest, tell me in the comments below. We read every comment. Let's begin. I stood near the back, my hands clutching the hem of my faded lavender dress, the only decent one I owned. The silk was worn from too many careful washes, but I tried to hold my head high. Then came the words that cut deeper than any blade. "You don't need to bring a gift, Hannah," Mom said sweetly, loud enough for the cousins nearby to hear. "We all know you can't afford it anyway." Laughter fluttered like knives. My sister, Lauren, in her white gown, smirked and whispered to her bridesmaid, she should be the one receiving gifts, not giving them. Heat flushed up my neck. I forced a smile, pretending not to care. "I just came to wish you happiness," I said quietly. Dad leaned in, voice dripping with disappointment. "You should have stayed home. This day's about success, not pity." Their words echoed through the ballroom, bouncing between the golden chandeliers and polished marble. People turned to stare, some amused, some uncomfortable. I felt smaller with every glance. I took a step back, ready to slip away before my tears betrayed me. And then the room stilled. The heavy doors at the end of the hall swung open. Every head turned. A tall man in a black suit walked in, confident, sharp, composed. His presence alone shifted the air. It was like the music forgot to play. The laughter died, and even the chandeliers seemed to hum in silence. My husband, Nathan Cole. He told me he couldn't make it, some last-minute business trip, he'd said. But there he was, walking toward me with that calm, unhurried stride that made people move aside instinctively. His tie was loosened, his jaw tight. My father frowned. "What's he doing here?" Nathan reached me, brushed a tear off my cheek with his thumb, and smiled faintly. "I couldn't let you face them alone." Before I could reply, he turned to the wedding table, where Lauren and her new husband were seated like royalty. He slipped a golden envelope from his jacket pocket, placed it gently in front of them, and said, his voice steady and clear, "Congratulations. This is a house, courtesy of the woman you mocked." The silence that followed could have shattered glass. Lauren's husband blinked. "Of a house." Nathan nodded. "In the hills. Fully paid. It's her gift to you." He looked directly at my parents. "From the daughter you call embarrassment. The one who's been funding your mortgage for 2 years without saying a word." My mother's face went pale. "That's not, you're lying." Nathan reached into his jacket again and laid down another envelope, this time with documents. "Bank statements. Transfers. Hannah's name is right there." Gasps rippled through the crowd. The DJ froze mid-track. The photographers just stood, cameras half lowered, unsure if they should keep shooting. I stood there trembling, caught between shock and quiet satisfaction. Lauren's voice cracked. Why would you do that for us?" Nathan looked at her, then at me, and said softly, "Because she still believes family means something, even when they forget she exists." No one spoke. The music never came back on. And for the first time in years, my parents had nothing left to say. The ballroom felt frozen, like time had stopped breathing. Everyone just stared at Nathan and me, their faces twisted between awe and disbelief. The golden envelope still sat on the table, untouched, shining beneath the chandelier. Lauren's groom, Ryan, shifted uncomfortably in his chair. Is this a joke?" he muttered, his voice cracking. Nathan's gaze was calm, but unyielding. "No joke. That house is yours. Hannah bought it months ago. She wanted it to be a surprise." My mother, Margaret, pressed her trembling hands to her pearls. "Impossible. Hannah doesn't even have a steady job."
"What are you talking about?"
Nathan looked at her sharply. "She runs the design company you brag about to your friends, the one you always call that brilliant new startup." Her lips parted. "Cole Design Group?" I nodded quietly. "Yes, Mom. That's mine." The room erupted in gasps and whispers. My father's face went pale, then red, then white again, like his pride couldn't decide which emotion to wear first. "You're lying," he said hoarsely. "You barely made it through college." "I built something from the ground up," I replied, voice trembling but steady. "While you laughed at me for selling sketches online, I was signing clients, designing homes, and paying off your mortgage behind your back." My mother's hand slipped from her pearls. The clatter echoed in the quiet. Lauren shot to her feet, anger flashing in her eyes. "You think this makes you better than me? Throwing money around to humiliate us." Nathan stepped closer, his tone low but commanding. "She didn't come here to humiliate anyone. She came to celebrate, even after the way you've all treated her." Lauren's lip quivered. "You're lying. She's always been jealous of me." I shook my head slowly. "Jealous? I used to envy how loved you were, how everyone adored you. But today, I just feel sorry." Her groom shifted uncomfortably, eyes darting between us. "Lauren, maybe we should."
Don't, she snapped.
"Don't you dare take her side." Nathan placed his arm around my shoulders, calm as ever. "Let's go, sweetheart. We've said enough." We turned toward the exit, but my father's voice cracked through the tension like a whip. "Hannah, stop." I froze. Robert's tone had changed. It wasn't anger anymore, but something rawer. "Why didn't you tell us? Why would you help us after everything?" I turned back slowly, eyes stinging. "Because I couldn't hate you. No matter how much you hurt me, you're still my parents. I wanted to believe I could earn your respect. But I finally understand. Love shouldn't have to be earned." My mother's chin trembled, but she said nothing. Lauren looked away, suddenly quiet. Nathan guided me toward the door, his hand steady on my back. As we stepped into the cool night air, the faint hum of music resumed behind us, softer, hesitant, like the party had forgotten how to celebrate. Outside, under the starlit sky, I finally exhaled. My hands shook, not from fear but release. Nathan turned to me, his expression gentle. "You handled that with more grace than they deserved." I smiled faintly. It wasn't revenge. It was truth. He brushed a strand of hair from my face. And truth always wins. Behind us, through the tall glass doors, I saw my parents standing silently by the table, staring at the golden envelope. Lauren clutched her bouquet, her smile gone. For once, the people who always had the last word had nothing left to say. The next morning, the wedding headlines were everywhere, not in newspapers, but on social media. Guests had filmed the moment Nathan revealed the truth, and the clips had spread like wildfire. Bride's poor sister gifts a house. Family humiliated by daughter's secret success. By the time I woke up, my phone was buzzing nonstop. Dozens of missed calls. Half from people I barely knew, classmates who once ignored me, neighbors who used to whisper, suddenly wanting to catch up. Nathan set a cup of coffee on my nightstand. "You're trending, sweetheart," he said softly, an amused smile tugging at his lips. I groaned, pressing a hand to my face. That's the last thing I wanted. He leaned against the doorway. "Maybe. But sometimes truth travels faster than lies." I sipped the coffee, my heart still heavy. I didn't want revenge to define me. I just wanted peace, a chance to breathe without constantly proving myself. Then came the knock on the door. Sharp, reluctant. Nathan opened it. My mother stood there, her eyes puffy, her hair slightly undone, a sight I'd never seen in her carefully curated world. "Hannah," she said softly, "can we talk?" Nathan nodded, gave me a reassuring look, and left us alone. I motioned her to sit, but she stood instead, wringing her hands. "I didn't sleep all night," she confessed. "The things we said to you, they were cruel. I don't know what we were trying to protect, maybe our pride, but that pride cost us our daughter." Her voice cracked, and for a brief moment, I saw not the woman who looked down on me, but a mother struggling with regret. "I never wanted to hurt you," she said. "But your father and we always thought success came with appearances, not hard work. You proved us wrong." I stared at her, unsure how to respond. Part of me wanted to scream, Part of me wanted to cry. Mom, I said quietly, I never wanted your approval because of money. I just wanted you to see me, really see me. She nodded slowly, eyes glistening. I see you now, Hannah. Just then, Lauren appeared behind her, arms crossed, her voice small. I shouldn't have said what I said yesterday. I met her gaze. You didn't just say it, Lauren. You meant it. Her eyes filled with tears. I did. But when Ryan showed me the deed you gave us, I realized how little I deserved it. I can't accept that house. It doesn't feel right. I shook my head. Keep it. Maybe it'll remind you that kindness doesn't need witnesses. She blinked, stunned. After everything I did to you? Especially after that, I said simply. I don't want to be like you were yesterday. My mother sniffled. Your father's in the car. He's too ashamed to face you yet. I gave a faint smile. Tell him he doesn't need to apologize. He just needs to stop measuring worth in wealth. When they left, Nathan came back in, watching me quietly. You didn't have to forgive them, he said. I sighed, leaning into him. Forgiving them isn't for them. It's for me. I spent too long carrying their judgment. I'm done letting it define me. He kissed my forehead. Then you've already won. I smiled softly.
No.
We did. Outside, the morning sun spilled across the quiet street, golden and warm, the kind of light that feels like a new beginning. For the first time, I didn't feel small anymore. I felt free. 3 days later, the world had already chosen its side. People who once ignored me now filled my inbox with praise. Journalists requested interviews, and even local news stations wanted to feature the woman who stunned her family at her sister's wedding. But I didn't reply to any of them. I wasn't chasing attention. I was chasing closure. Nathan was sitting at the kitchen island when I walked in, his laptop open, steam rising from his mug. You're all over the news again, he said, scrolling through headlines. They're calling you the quiet millionaire. I rolled my eyes with a tired smile. That's ridiculous. I'm not a millionaire. He tilted his head. Technically, you are. I laughed softly, shaking my head. Then I guess I'm a very tired one. Before he could reply, the doorbell rang. Nathan frowned. You expecting someone? I wasn't. But when I opened the door, my father was standing there. He looked older, not by years, but by regret. His shoulders slumped, his tie slightly loose, his pride nowhere in sight. Dad, I whispered, startled. Hannah, he said quietly, removing his hat like a man entering a church he'd abandoned for too long. Can I come in? I nodded, stepping aside. He looked around the house slowly, the one I'd bought with my first major project. His eyes softened at the photos on the walls. Nathan and I at our small wedding, my first office, a snapshot of me painting designs on my old tablet. I never asked about this place, he said finally. Never even thought to ask how you built all this. I just assumed you couldn't. I crossed my arms gently. You didn't want to believe I could. He nodded, guilt heavy in his eyes. You're right. I was wrong. Silence filled the room, thick and fragile. Then he reached into his coat pocket and pulled out a small, folded piece of paper. Your mother wrote this, he said. She couldn't face you again, but she wanted you to have it. I opened it slowly. The handwriting was shaky, her usually perfect cursive now uneven, raw. I'm sorry for every time I made you feel small. I thought protecting our image was protecting you, but all I did was push you away. I see now that real strength doesn't wear pearls or hide behind pride. It stands quietly and proves the world wrong. You did that. I'm proud of you, Hannah. Truly. Tears blurred the words before I could finish reading. Dad's voice broke. Your mother and I forgot what matters. We measured love in dollars and status, not character. You changed that. I swallowed hard. I didn't want to change you. I just wanted you to see me. He nodded, eyes glassy. I do now. I see you clearer than ever. Nathan placed a hand on my back, silent but steady. Then Dad sighed. We sold the car. The big house too. We're starting over. Lauren and Ryan moved into that home you gave them. They're trying to make things right. I smiled faintly.
Good.
Maybe now we can all breathe again. He hesitated, then reached into his pocket again and held out a small velvet box. Inside was a thin gold bracelet, the same one Mom used to wear every Sunday. She wanted you to have it, he said softly. She said it belonged on the daughter who earned everything herself. My breath caught. For years, that bracelet had symbolized distance, a reminder that I wasn't the daughter she flaunted to her friends. And now it meant something entirely different. Tell her thank you, I whispered, slipping it on. He smiled, a real one this time, warm and humbled. You were always the heart of this family, Hannah. We just didn't see it until the lights went out. Before he left, he looked back at me one last time. You didn't just give Lauren a house. You gave all of us a second chance. After he drove off, I stood by the window for a long moment, the morning sunlight catching the gold around my wrist. Nathan came up behind me, wrapping his arms around my waist. You okay? He murmured. I nodded, eyes on the horizon. I think I finally am. He kissed the side of my head. You know, you could have just skipped the drama and handed them a gift card, he teased. I laughed, leaning back into him. Maybe. But sometimes, people don't listen until truth knocks them to their knees. He smiled. And you delivered it perfectly. That evening, as the sun dipped low, my phone buzzed again. This time it wasn't reporters or distant relatives. It was Lauren. Her message was simple. Thank you for not giving up on us when we didn't deserve it. I stared at it for a moment, then typed back. Just make sure no one else ever feels the way I did. That's all I ask. As I hit send, I realized something. It wasn't revenge that satisfied me. It was peace. The kind that comes when you stop proving and simply start living. And as Nathan dimmed the lights and drew me close, I finally understood. Sometimes the best revenge isn't humiliation. It's showing them you never needed their approval to shine. The laughter that once mocked me was gone. The silence left behind? It was beautiful.